Hey folks, Trubie here to talk to you about Dice Masters. Didn't have a video last week, but we're back this week on Saturday, right before Easter. Unfortunately, there's no event this week, but yeah, we'll cover our events here in a little bit. First off, we just got from WizKids our announcement of what is going to happen with the 2018 Modern rotation. So I thought today I'd go over a little bit with the rotation and also mostly talk about, more importantly, what was leaving and what I'm actually happy to see leave. So let's see. First off, but some local business first. So here at Horseman Comics, we have a prize wall. When you participate in events, you can get prize tickets, and those prize tickets can be used to purchase items off of the wall. And I actually took it upon myself to get some new additions for the wall. First thing, we have these little digital Mojo scorekeepers. These things are going to be about 5 tickets. And I'm also working on putting together common and uncommon sets. So here we have a full common and uncommon set of Battle for Faerun. I think I also have a Battle for Faerun starter that will be on the prize wall. And yeah, I'll be going through more than just Battle for Faerun. There'll be other sets as well. So our schedule for events. Obviously, no event this Sunday because of Easter. Next Sunday, April 8th, we will be doing Modern. The April 15th, the Sunday after that, we will be doing Draft. And then on April 22nd, we will be doing a Golden Age format of a color battle. All of your dice must be the same color. So, yeah, obviously you sort of need Golden Age to make sure you can all match. Everything's not going to be perfectly matched, but just as long as you're pretty close, we're good to go. But speaking of Golden Age, let's talk about this rotation. One of the big things first about the rotation, let me actually bring up a image here of what they did. So, yeah, going back to this image I did a while back. Yeah, I'm heading in here somewhere. They actually cut a little deeper than I expected. They took out Deadpool and Green Arrow and Flash, which I wasn't expecting, but I actually kind of like it. I think it was a good call on their part. But yeah, we're losing everything from War of Light, Amazing Spider-Man, Faerun Under Siege, World's Finest, Civil War, and the first Turtle set, plus Green Arrow, Flash, and Deadpool. So yes, that's a pretty big cut. But you know, what does that mean for us at the store? Not a whole lot. We do Modern and Golden Age events all the time. It's basically just what you're building. The bigger deal is for the competitive scene, the national and international Dice Masters meta. And actually, in response to that, because of this affecting the bigger scene more, a couple weeks ago I did that video talking about the Yuan-Ti Pureblood and the Rare Cosmic Cube and their interaction and how that was basically just ripping apart WKOs all over the country. Well, with this rotation announcement, the Rare Cosmic Cube is banned in Modern. Now, all of this doesn't take effect till June 1st. Yeah, remember that? I actually got in the headspace of, oh, all this stuff's gone now. It doesn't happen till June 1st. So if you're going to any WKOs between now and June 1st, that Cosmic Cube is still in there. The Yuan-Ti Pureblood team is still going to be the team to beat, unless that store is specifically banning the Cosmic Cube. But more importantly than, well, at least to me, more importantly than the ban of Cosmic Cube, which didn't really affect us locally too much. Melissa was using a little bit on one of her teams, but yeah, generally it didn't dominate here like it was everywhere else. But instead, I'm going to be talking about other cards I'm happy to see leaving the format. So obviously, before I get started here, I've got my first card already up, but a disclaimer. I'm very much a Johnny type player, and anything I say here is from that perspective. Anything I say about the following cards is not meant to disparage the people who like to use them. This is just how I felt about them. I realize spikes are going to spike. You play to win. Yeah, this is how I feel about some of these cards. So, hopefully we're all cool. No one's going to get mad. I don't think I'm saying anything too overly harsh here. I'm not. But I just want to get that out of the way first. But yeah, let's get started here with replenished chalkboard. Yeah, well, we got our top 10. I'm not going to call it a top 10 list because I'm not BuzzFeed, But hey, number 2, well, you won't believe. No, but let's get started here. So replenished chalkboards is the first one I'm going to start with. Mostly just because of the global. I actually never really had any major issues with the card. And when it first came out, I thought it'd be a good defensive option. You'd be able to use that global in order to get something out to immediately respond to what your opponent's doing. But it ended up being more of an offensive tool, and that's what we saw with the Pureblood and the Cosmic Cube thing, is people were using replenished chalkboard to get that out like on turn 3, and they'd get those turn 3 kills. It just was helping people get easier turn 3 kills. It also took away that randomness of the bag draw, which, yeah, is always kind of a problem. I tend to have issues with stuff like that, so it's one I'm glad to see it go. Next up, Parallax. Yeah, Parallax was always a harsh mistress, and yeah, another one for the global. I'm glad to see that global gone. See, with my bad luck, every time I used it, I could never rely on it, but my opponents always could. They could always get that refilled whenever they wanted it. It always bit me in the butt. And all the time it was illegal. I think I only had one good experience with it ever. And also, like, since there still isn't a lot of action die control, one of the best action die control cards out there right now is the Scarlet Witch, the common Scarlet Witch from X-Men First Class. And Parallax here gave you a way around it. And yeah, it's one of those things where there's so few ways to stop action dice. This guy sort of nerfed that a little too much, and I'm glad he's gone. Next up, good old Dwarf Wizard. This is another card I actually never had any issues with. I played him a lot. I liked him a lot. I still like him a decent bit. But now that Shriek's come along, having the 2 blankers is just a little too much to deal with. I mean, yeah, Shriek is clearly better than him, but having both against you on a team is really frustrating, and it's just kind of annoying for players to have to deal with it. I mean, I like blanking to an extent because it makes people have to pivot and be a little more open with their team building. They can't just put all their eggs in one basket. But yeah, having the 2 blankers is a bit much. And also, I tend to play monsters a lot, and him being so common, I'd be giving my opponent experience whenever my stuff would get knocked out. So that's a greedy thing there. Right, next up, Kryptonite, yet another blanker. The fact that it was blanking stuff in this case isn't really what was bothering me. It was more with the rise of Attune. This on an Attune team was just too good. Like, you were being able to buy it for just 2, blank stuff, and deal damage. It was rough, really rough. I'm kind of glad that it's going by the wayside. I also hated it with another card that's coming up, but we'll get that in a little bit. But before we go to that one, our next card, Merlin. Yeah, with Green Arrow Flash going, this is one that I'm not going to miss. The whole, he can only be blocked by crossover characters thing, I don't like that. I realize it's another, like, with flying and magic. It's just, if you don't like it, just have crossover characters. But there really aren't that many good crossover characters, so no one's really playing them. And he himself is not a crossover character, so if he himself was one, he would basically be nullifying himself out. Like, if you play Merlin, if you're both playing Merlin, well, you both can block each other's Merlin. But the fact that he's not one, he gets through without any blockers, and that irked me a little bit. Plus, he's got the great global. Everyone was using this one a lot. He's clearly the best of the energy fixers, only being a 5 cost, and also an alternate win condition. I'm kind of glad to see him go. I think if they'd maybe put the ability on the uncommon, but left the global on this one, I wouldn't have been bothered with him nearly as much. And yeah, I realize Grodd has sort of the same effects, but Grodd is a 6 cost, and that seemed to make a big difference for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, 6 versus 5, you wouldn't think it'd be a big deal, but it kind of was. But yeah, let's move on to our next card. Ultraman, the super rare Ultraman. He was kind of a flash in the pan there for a little bit. Everyone was playing him. Even the Nationals and Worlds, last year or 2 years ago? I think it was last year. Everyone was teching against it in case someone brought it. Yeah, him with Kryptonite. You get to use all 4 basic actions, and then there's basically it brought up some weird game states where, what happens when you have a die like imprisoned, and Ultraman gets to use all 4 basic actions, and you just use the imprisoned basic action. What happens? Don't know. So I'm sort of glad that these weird game state situations are going to be gone. So yeah, it always sort of bugged me, and plus the fact that Kryptonite would blank something and then Ultraman would trigger. So whatever your counter for Ultraman would be, Kryptonite would take it out, and then Ultraman would do his thing and go nuts. So that always bugged me. But here now we're jumping to a basic action that I didn't like. Cloud Kill. So yeah, this basic action just for me made for some really unsatisfying wins. If your opponent has it, you kind of just have to buy it to use it against them. It's just you got to do it, because otherwise it's gonna come back and get you. You can play around it most of the time if you're careful, but I've never really been happy with teams that are all about the basic action, and this one is very much that. This basic action wins you games, plain and simple. And yeah, if it just unsatisfying win. I think that's for me at least. I never liked it, and I'm glad it's going out of there. So let's just jump off to the next one here. Go back to the characters. Luke Cage. Now, yeah, once again, Luke Cage himself. Well, he's fine. His card is fine. It's that global. The moment I saw that global, I hated it. Like, just pay a fist, 1 damage to both of us. That really bothered me, because it's just one of those things where I play a lot of fist swarm, so it's like, okay, I've got all these fists. I've got 6 or 7 fists in my field zone. Oh, look, you're down to 7 life. I just pay 7 energy, you lose. That's not fun. I mean, I understand. Some people it is fun, but that just always bothered me. It was just super non-interactive. You get ahead of your opponent and then just spend energy to win. Yeah, just not fun. Not fun at all for me. Still got to caveat all this stuff so people won't start flaming me for being Mr. Johnny anti Spike here. But so you're going back. With Luke Cage, vicious struggle here. This made it worse. And yeah, you have a non-interactive gameplay multiplied by 2 or more. So yeah, it's just really obscene. This card created a lot of... it was just really ugly. You play the game in a completely different way, where you basically just are using globals and not attacking, not buying any characters, just sitting back behind vicious struggle and winning. I also didn't like that. It just made the game feel more like solitaire. Also, the card itself, after you used it, it created a special game state that no other card did. So you'd use it. It wasn't continuous. It wasn't targetable for removal. It just was. And there was very few things that actually canceled its effect. So that was problematic. Also, there was a team built a while back with Luke Cage, Vicious Struggle, and Kobolds. And it felt like this was tainting my precious Kobolds. It's kind of like finding out your daughter is doing porn. I was not happy about it. How dare they besmirch my precious Kobolds? But saving my most happy to see it gone card for last, the Lantern Ring. Oh, Lantern Ring, how I hate you. Let me count the ways. My problem with Lantern Ring was it's basically the easy win button. It promoted lazy team building. You could just throw a bunch of stuff together, add Lantern Ring, and you've got a viable team. I've got these random 5 fist characters. I don't have a way to win. What do I do? Put a ring on it. You know, oh, I want to play with Vixen and MJ. What do I do? Put a ring on it. Just not fun. So I'm happy it's gone. Because, I mean, really, even in some of my testing with this for Worlds last year, you could have a team with just Multiple Man, the Swarming Super Rare Multiple Man, and Lantern Ring, and you would win way more than you should. Like, for Worlds last year, or in Nationals, my minimum requirement was I have to be able to beat someone just buying Multiple Man and Lantern Ring. And half the time I couldn't do it. And that's ridiculous. It's the kind of card that scares off new players. If you're playing this at a casual event, it's all of a sudden you field the Lantern Ring, and then there's random damage that seems to come out, like it comes out of nowhere, and the player, they can't do anything about it, and the game's just over. That doesn't make new players happy. You tell them, oh, they'll ask, well, then how do I get rid of that ring? Oh, well, you need to have this one special card over here that you don't have to get rid of the ring. Again, it's not fun. Not fun for me, and not fun for new players. I don't like stuff like that. I think the game needs to be very welcoming. I understand Nationals, Worlds, you're going to do what you got to do, win, but there's a reason this thing is banned all the time at our store. It's no fun. But that's my top 10 list of things that I am happy that are being rotated out with this rotation. So, got other things that I've missed that you think should be taken out? Yeah, send me a comment. Let me know what you think about this list. Well, that's all this week. Catch you guys later.